So what I wanted to talk a little bit about today is what should sex education be? Obviously, it should be comprehensive, right? It should tell you all the things you need to know about having safe sex, not getting pregnant, not getting STDs, not getting your heart broken, if that's possible to teach someone. But let's go a little deeper into that. What else should it be? The first thing I think, and you kind of touched on it, is that it should be free of assumptions and inclusive of everybody involved in the audience, right? So when I talk to a group of people, when I teach a group of people about sex, I make no assumptions about who's sitting in front of me. So right now, I'm making no assumptions about you all. I don't assume that I know your sexual orientation. You may be gay, you may be straight. I don't assume, as you learned, that you identify with the gender you were assigned. I was telling this guy, he's wearing a strong t-shirt. So I'm like, maybe he lives there, I don't know. Right? I don't make an assumption about what your genitals look like, okay? So when I talk about intersex, people who are born with genitals that don't quite resemble standard female or male genitals, I don't assume that I'm not talking about somebody in the room. And I say, and if my students start to giggle or make comments, I say, unless you've seen everybody in this room naked and up close, you don't know who's in this room, right? When I talk about HIV, I don't assume that everybody is HIV negative. And abstinence-only education makes these assumptions about people, right? You're gonna get married, so you can wait to have sex until you're married because you're gonna get married, right? And you can comply with these values that we're throwing at you. Well, I think sex education should not make any of these assumptions. That's hard, right? I mean, that's really difficult. Writing a book in which I tried to talk to audience members in which I hoped a girl or a boy, a gay or a straight person could pick up the book and feel like I was talking to them was really hard. Pronouns are a bitch, you know? So that's not an easy way to teach. It's not easy to teach and not be able to, it would be much easier to say, well, you're a girl, what do you think? But I don't want to make an assumption about who you are, right? So I'm not saying this is easy. Good sex education is values-based. Everybody's going, I'm thinking about the evangelical right wing, right? But I don't mean based on somebody else's values. I don't mean based on George Bush's values. I mean based on your values, based on the values of the people who are receiving the sex education. So in my sex ed classes, we could easily say, don't get knocked up. You're only 15, don't get yourself knocked up. Okay, we could do that. Or we could say, what are your goals? What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to have a career? Do you want to travel the world? What are you looking forward to doing with your life? Okay, is getting pregnant in line with that right now? Is getting pregnant at the age of 15 going to let you do all those things? Maybe not. Maybe this is not a good time to get pregnant. Maybe you should find a reliable form of birth control. Now you're not preaching. You're getting to the same place, but you're letting them preach to themselves from within, right?